Alright, so I'm powering up my machine, which is Miss Pac-Man to Mimi's Mr. Pac-Man. And you can see I just let it boot up like normal, right? By pressing a little power on the back left corner. Mimi knows where the button is. On the top left corner, up here behind, well, you can't see it from here, but back and up, back left behind on top of the machine, there's a little button, just press it once. So now we're in what we call hyperspin, right? And there's your coin button, your player 1 button, right? So this is like adding quarters for player 1, and this is adding quarters for player 2, okay? And then these buttons are the 6 buttons for the first person for player 1, and these are the 6 buttons for player 2. Most games don't use 6 buttons, okay? Most games just use 1 or 2 buttons, like Joust, Pac-Man. The games that use 6 buttons are the fighting games, like this game, right? A Street Fighter-like game, okay? So then there's these buttons here, okay? This is Shift. This is what we call Enter, Escape, Tab, and this is the volume button. When I press this button, the volume goes down. See up here in the corner, the volume's going down, but when I hold Shift and then press the volume goes up, okay? So holding down this key is just a shift. When I hold Shift with the volume button, volume goes up. When I just press this button by itself, volume goes down. Enter is to select the game I want, Escape's to get out of it, and Tab controls the setup. You'll probably never use this button. Most of the time you'll be using Enter or Escape, okay? So you can see here's my what I call hyperspin wheel, okay? You guys don't have this many games in yours because I kind of limited Mimi's to the games that work. Everything that you want to play is in what's called MAME, okay? This MAME thing here. So when you select it, then you click on Enter, okay? Find MAME and then click it, and now you're playing all the games, okay, in MAME, okay? So one of my favorite games is Joust, okay? There's Joust 1 and Joust 2. You can see when I select a game, it's right by this little blue pointer, okay? So I'm going to get Joust by moving down the stick kind of one at a time. You have to kind of flick it to do it quick. I'm going to get Joust, and then I'm going to click Enter. Okay, and now Joust is going to load, right? It's going to boot up just like a regular Joust machine would boot up. Okay. You'll see kind of some testing. This is what you would get if you were booting a normal Joust game. Like, so now I want to play Joust, right? Well, in order to play Joust, you have to put coins in it, right? So I'm going to put coins into my Joust game, okay? And Joust, it looks like it already has credits. I could also use this button to add credits, okay? You can see when I'm pressing it, it's adding credits. Then I'm going to press player 1. Oh, and this on Uncle Dave's machine, I don't have it set up right, so I have to press 2. Now look, this is lit and this is lit. This is lit and this is lit. This tells me what controls are working, okay, for this game. So you'll be able to know what controls work for the game by which ones are lit, okay? Now let's say I'm done playing Joust, right? I've played Joust, I figured out how to play it, that's cool, but I don't want to play it anymore. Well, this was Shift, this is Enter, this is Escape. Escape gets you out of the game, okay? And then I'm going to shift my joystick up here to go up or down alphabetically. Now I want to go to Pac-Man, right? So I'm going to keep holding down to go to P. Or I can go right or left to go down a letter at a time, okay? I'm going to go down to Pac-Man. Okay, I've got Pac-Man next to the blue thing. Now I'm going to click Enter, right? Pac-Man's going to load up. Okay, and then I need to, what? Put quarters in, right? I'm going to start putting quarters. Look, when I put my quarter, 1 credit. Now 1 or 2 people can play. If I want 1 to play, I'll just press this. If I want 2 to play, I'll press this. Now this one's kind of weird, right? Because joystick 2 doesn't work for Pac-Man. Well, that's because Pac-Man only had one joystick. Okay, so watch. I'm gonna eat a ghost and make myself die, so you can see what I'm talking about, right? So that was player one. You see one up. Now it's blinking two up, right? So maybe you start trying to move the joystick and say, Uncle Dave, this joystick doesn't work. Well, that's because Pac-Man was one joystick only. So to play Pac-Man, you just had to take turns, okay, at the one joystick. So that's how you play Pac-Man, is you just take turns on joystick one, okay? Even though two people are playing, and you can see my points are going up for player two, you share one joystick, okay? And that's about it, guys. I know the video's a little long, but hopefully that explains to you. When I'm done playing, I just hit my escape key, and I come back here to Pac-Man, right? And I can go up or down. If I hit escape again, I come back out to where I selected MAME, and I could pick like Capcom, or I could try to play Nintendo. It's not really set up to do that, guys. So right now, I strongly recommend you just stay in MAME, click enter, and just try to pick a game in here. There's tons of games. There's hundreds, if not, now I guess I'll just say hundreds of games in here for you to pick from, okay? So when I'm done playing, right, let's say I'm done playing, I'm gonna reach up here. You see my hand is going up, over, and down, and I'm sliding back down here. I feel that button. Just press it once. Everything will shut down. Just give it a couple seconds, and it'll all power down. There she goes. Thanks.